Welcome to the Impact Business Show. I'm your host, Annalise Warren, a marketing agency CEO, business strategist, digital marketing mentor, wife, and mama of 4 little ones. Stay tuned for conversations with successful, purpose-driven business leaders, as well as practical marketing strategies that you can action right away. We are here to help you master your marketing, build your business, and change the world. So let's get into it. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. Now, today I wanted to talk to you about the evolution of a service-based business. And this is based on my own experience of being in year 5 of owning a marketing agency and being in this space. And also from working with hundreds and hundreds of other business owners as clients, as colleagues, as consultant. And I see a lot of businesses, and this is, there is a pattern that I see from when we get started to when we kind of, get our training wheels and actually get going. And so I wanted to break that down for you so that when you see certain things happening in the progression of your business, that you know that is normal, but also know that there is a way through it. There is a way to avoid certain things. And I find that if we aren't aware of it, that is when we freak out. That is when people quit. That is when people make wrong decisions, like hire the wrong people or don't hire people or don't raise their rates, and like all of those kind of things. There is a pattern that I see that is the slow path, and there is a pattern. There are ways to not take the slow path. So let's talk about that. So when we start our businesses, we are usually so super excited to finally be doing our thing, and we spend way too long, way too long planning and dreaming and like doing a beautiful website and like rewriting our Instagram bio 40,000 times and like all, antagonizing over what color and what logo and what name and what word and what picture and is it too big, and like all of the stuff that's not actually going to get us clients. And don't hear me here and think that that's not important to do some planning and strategizing. Yes, it is, but done is better than perfect. And I see so many people get stuck in this planning phase and they never actually launch. They just, they're writing blog posts and they're preparing and never actually hit go and go out and do the hard part, which is like facing rejection and putting yourself out there and getting clients. And so the roadblock here is that desire to maybe get things really perfect, and you're not going to, and it's going to change. So we need to just get out there and launch. So like good enough is great. You have like minimal viable product, as we can say in marketing, but we just have enough that we can start offering something, and you kind of figure it out as you go along, right? So then for those who do actually take the plunge and they start trying to get clients and posting on the socials and doing all of that thing, a lot of people then hit the point where they realize that it is a lot harder to get clients than they thought that it was going to be. And if you are, so many people put their website out and expect like people flocking in and bookings and they'll be posting on Instagram and they say, well, I'm doing all the things, but I'm not actually getting clients. And we need to do more than just have a website and more than just have a social media presence. And so at this point, a lot of people realize that it's harder to get clients than they originally thought, that there's more involved, and they get discouraged and they quit, or they take the easy path. Like maybe they go back and get a job and they just leave this as a side hustle, not really putting the fuel behind it that it's going to need to take off. And or they decide to lower their rates and not charge a lot for clients. So there's kind of the three things. Like, people either get discouraged and quit and say, you know, that wasn't for me. Take the easy path. And what I mean by easy path is, I think I see this pattern a lot, is that we decide to go out on our own. We decide to do something new and exciting. And then we get offered an easy contract, or, you know, we get a referral for a job that was the thing that we did before, or we get, you know, this same type of client keeps coming to us that we don't want to really work with, but we say yes because that's there, and we think, oh, well, we'll do that, we'll pursue that dream later because that's, you know, this is right in front of me, and maybe, you know, I can just do that. So beware of that. I feel like it's almost a test. Like, do you want it? And I myself have fallen into this trap so many times. So there's been lots of times throughout even the last 5 years that I have been ready to launch a new branch of the business or something, and I've been offered something else, like a consulting role, that I'm like, oh, I could do that in my sleep. Sure, let's do that. And it's distracted me from what I wanted to do, and the bigger risk but the bigger gain of the project that I wanted to do within my own business. And so, and I do see this a lot. So just think back and have this on the shelf that you can recognize that this is a thing that is going to come up, and you get to decide whether you take the easy path or the harder path and go after the big goal, or whether you postpone the big goal, or whether you go after it now. So this is a sticking point that I see all the time. So then, with the people that actually continue their business, a lot of them don't charge a lot because they don't want that price objection, or they're putting their own money stuff, their own junk around money, their own scarcity mindset, their own thoughts around what they're worth, and all of that. They project that onto their clients, and so they think, well, you know, that people are only going to pay like $400 or whatever it is. And so then you do get clients because you're, you know, half price. And so then people get too busy and they get stressed. And then they're realizing that in order to earn what they want to earn, they have to have all of these clients. And now they're working 18 hours a day, and it was good in theory, but now hang on, like, what's going on? And again, I'm not saying don't charge a lower rate when you're getting started. If you want the experience, or if you want to do a pro bono client, then that's totally fine, as long as you know and you have a plan for that, and it's a strategy. So you're saying, okay, I'm going to take on 3 pro bono clients for 3 months, and then I'm going to get amazing testimonials from them, and then I'm going to charge X, which is 75% of what I want to be charging, because again, I want some more experience under my belt, and then I'm going to charge 100%. And all of that is just an example. You can make that work however you want that to work, and only you can make that decision. But don't go into it and just say, oh, I'm only going to charge X because that's what I think people are going to pay. Your people will pay what you want them to pay based on the value that you provide them. If you are making people's lives better, easier, saving them time, saving them money in the long run, all of that, then you are going to be, they're going to pay it. They're going to pay it. If you're offering value, they're going to pay it. So don't worry about that. Just charge what you want to charge, or be working up to that in a really strategic way that you stick to. So if people get too busy and stressed, then I find that they kind of going like, oh my gosh, I need some help. I need some help here. And then they hire, but they hire the wrong people. And I did this so many times. I had someone to do that and it wasn't working out. And I had someone to do that. And it was just, the common denominator was me, right? It was me and my strategy behind it, the way that I was onboarding, the way that I was training. So what happens when we hire the wrong people is that, or we hire in the wrong way, for the wrong tasks, is that the quality goes down. I find that when people get too busy and they hire haphazardly, then things go wrong, and then they lose clients because then they're not doing as good a job as they were doing originally and that they want to do, because it's just too many balls in the air. And so we don't want to be doing that. And when we lose clients or we're really, really stressed out because we're, all over the place, then we realize, oh, hey, we're not charging enough. And that if I actually want to see my husband or my kids or, hang out at the beach on a Wednesday afternoon, then that we need to charge more. And so that's when I feel like things shift a little bit and people really step into their role as a CEO and start to think about their business, not just like, oh, I have lots of bosses, like these clients are my bosses, but no, like I am a CEO and I have a business and this is the value I provide, and have that confidence in that. And this is the value I provide and this is the results that I can get people. And so this is what I'm going to charge and this is how I'm going to run things. But we don't have to actually go through all of that junk. If you have a mentor or you have a coach or you have some sort of system and you're aware of the pitfalls, which is why I wanted to record this episode, because honestly, I see it all the time, all the time. And then we'll start even with clients and I'll say, okay, this is what we're going to charge. And then they do their website and it's like, it's half that or it's 2/3 of that because I looked around it. No, have confidence in your ability to provide results. And if you charge what you want to earn, then you have the time to be able to invest in those clients and make sure that you're doing an amazing job. If you charge too little, you have to be spread too thin, and it's not good for anyone. It's not good for the client. It's not good for your bank account. It's not good for you. It's not good for your family because you aren't going to be your best. So make sure you are charging what you need to charge and that you have the right support in place, the right systems in place. And that's when people realize they're not charging enough, I think is that kind of tipping point where that mindset needs to change, that mindset starts to change. And that's when people start to think more strategically about hiring the right people and think about, what do I actually want to be doing in my business long term, and what are the steps that I have to take to do that. And that then, because they're hiring the right people, they're refining their processes. And again, that's going to be streamlining things. That's going to be automating. It's going to be deleting. It's going to be reorganizing things, because what was working before isn't going to work when you have a team. And then think that's the point when more and more about with clients, you realize who you like working with and who you don't like working with, and what clients are taking a really long time and what clients are easy, and easy is probably the wrong word, but what client relationships are easy and what client deliverables you can deliver that doesn't feel like a whole heap of work. Like I know that I've taken on clients before that, and we track everything. So I have a team, and so that I know how to charge. So in our marketing agency, I charge, it's like a retainer, but it's for certain tasks, and it's not hourly rate, right? It's not an hourly rate. And when I started out, I just was charging whatever I kind of wanted to earn for doing that thing. And I didn't monitor how long it actually took me. I was just like, oh yeah, I'm doing that. I want to get paid X for doing that thing. And then with the VA agency, it's hourly, and they pay, they get a certain amount of hours, but it's charged hourly. And so we have time recording software. We use Clockify at the moment. And my team log their time, and we do an analysis when we do their reporting at the end of the month and look how much time the team spent on each client, even the ones that are retainer model. And what's amazing is you'll see that, oh my gosh, I was doing the same work, these two clients are paying the same amount, but this client took 9 hours and this client took, 21 hours. And then, okay, like this client is really profitable, this client is not really profitable. And I find that this happens around this end of at this stage in the business that we're talking about, and that we then think about potentially releasing clients that we don't want to work with, or we begin to only take on clients that fit that kind of DNA. That is the sort of client that we want to be working with. And then again, we raise our rates, right? So once you know exactly what kind of client you work with, it's generally you're niching down a little bit more. You can feel really confident in what you're doing. You probably have to put more, you've put processes in place, right? Which probably means you're investing more in software. And so the rates that you are charging then align with that. And you've gone from being that baby business to being this robust, like organized, structured business that you feel really confident in, that your clients really love. And that's when I think people move their marketing then in alignment with all of that, and kind of often this coincides with a bit of a rebrand, which just comes back to like that first point, which was we spend too much time worrying about that when it's going to evolve, because we don't yet know who are those clients that we're going to be working with? What's the work we actually really want to be doing? And it might not be what you thought it was going to be, because maybe what you wanted to do isn't really high in demand, and what people want is a variation of that. And so you also don't know what potentially gets them results, or what you're really good at, or what your team are really good at. And so the rebrand kind of happens at this point. And again, with the rebrand, we put some more processes in place. And then from there, I think a lot of businesses decide to either stay that size, that comfortable size that is generally a six-figure business, or decide to grow. And if they decide to grow, they've got that beautiful foundation in place to then scale and evolve their own role and evolve their team, and, you know, filter down on the organizational chart. So that is the general process that I see service-based business owners walking in. So have a think about kind of where you're at on that scale, and if you can identify with certain elements of it. And definitely there are ways to streamline this process, and that is what I help people do inside the VA agency incubator, which isn't just for VAs, it's for any virtual service provider, so bookkeepers, graphic designers, accountants, like whoever who is working one-on-one with clients in a virtual setting and wants to move to more of that, and wants to move to more of that agency model where they're not doing everything. They're not doing the invoices and posting the social media posts and, like, you know, doing the books and the admin and the, like, all of the things. If you want to have a team then, and you want to streamline this process, and you can identify that you are stuck in one of these areas, I really encourage you to book a call with me and just have a chat about how this could work. As I've mentioned, we're in year 5 of our marketing agency. I started our VA agency at the end of last year, the end of 2020, and both are really successful businesses that are primarily run by my team, which is why I have a chance to do the mentoring and actually kind of extend my ripple effect and satisfy my teacher side. And so if that kind of sounds like something that you want for your business, and you can identify yourself being stuck in one of those areas, book a call with me. And even if we don't work together, if it's not a good fit, I will help you identify your next step. So how to streamline that next roadblock, that thing that you're kind of standing in front of that's holding you back from having the business that you dream, that you kind of dreamt that you would have. Then book a call with me, and I promise we will identify that next step that you need to take to push that hurdle down. So you can book a call with me. It's annalisewarn.com/consult. And I'm just going to run through it again. So have a think about where you are here and what I've said in terms of, and hopefully this will help you get there quicker. So it's not like 3 months of, you know, you working till 2 o'clock in the morning that makes you realize, oh my gosh, I'm not charging enough. Oh my gosh, I need some help. But you can identify that sooner rather than later. So we start and we're super excited, right? And we spend so much time planning and dreaming and fixing all of the details that we put off launching. Once we finally launch, we often realize it's harder to get clients than we thought it was going to be, and that we need to do more than just have a website and post on social media. And then there's kind of the 3-prong fork, right? Either we get discouraged and quit, we take the easy path, or we charge not a lot of money. And then we get too busy. If we've kept on with our business, we get too busy and we get stressed out and hire the wrong people or make the wrong decisions in the business. And from that, a lot of the time quality goes down and we lose clients. Then we realize we're not charging enough because we can't service the clients to the level we want to. And then we hire the right people, put the right people in place. We refine our processes, realize who we like working with and who we don't, release the clients that we don't want to be working with, raise our rates to meet everything, do a bit of a rebrand, move our marketing in alignment with all of that, put the right processes in place, and then determine whether we want to move from 6 to 7 figures or whatever that looks like for you, and evolve your role and grow your team. So where on that scale are you? I would love to know where you're at, what you identify with and what you don't. And if you would like any help in creating this kind of model of business where you have a team and you are really you have really stepped into that role of CEO, which for me is like the dream, right? For me, it's the dream. I get to be a part of these campaigns without having to do all the nitty gritty. I get to manage a team and nurture them and see them thrive. And I get to do the mentoring and I get to do the other projects that I want. And I get to have a business that works around my young family. And so for me, this model, going from like stressed out solo service provider where it's all on me, to having this CEO model where I can have the team doing the bits that I don't want to do, and I get to lead and I get to watch something grow that is, doing good in the world and feeding my family and letting me live the life that I want to live, then that is so special to me. And I want to help you create it as well, if that's what you want for you. So I hope that this episode helps you to assess that path of where your business is actually going, and hopefully like streamline that path and just give you a bit of a slipstream so that you can not take 5 years to get there like I did. So have a wonderful rest of week. I can't wait to see you this week on socials. Come say hi to me on IG, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Impact Business Show. 2 things you should know before you go. First, come and join the party. I'm live with free marketing training in the Social Marketing Method Facebook group every single week. That's where you can ask questions and get the answers you need to simplify your strategy and amplify your income. Go to annalisewarren.com/group to join and come and network with an incredible community of like-minded business owners. Now, second, if you have got any value from this episode, please rate, review, and subscribe, and share it out on your socials. Your support helps us reach more purpose-driven entrepreneurs and increase our impact in the world. Thank you, and I will see you next week. Bye.